Well, hello, everyone. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Madam Mayor's feeling a little under the weather today, but she did decide to join in. It almost got canceled. I was feeling like she's feeling yesterday, but I feel a lot better today. So it was a very.
That's because you gave me your germs.
She's saying I gifted her my germ. She's been under the weather. Today has been her worst day. Yesterday was my worst day. It was really about a day and a half of feeling just achy joints and just don't feel like going anywhere. A lot of blowing of the nose, and I still have a lot of lung stuff coming up from the first time I got sick. But
I feel like it was a bad decision to come back to Tennessee because we've done nothing but been
we've
sick
been
since
nothing.
we've been here.
Yeah, we've been nothing but sick since we have been here. But it could be just because there's a lot of weather change here, and we can talk about the weather. Oh my goodness! So a big band of storms is blowing across the country right now, and I think Kentucky and Virginia got the brunt of the flooding, but Tennessee did get some of the flooding, and I don't know to what extent. We don't really get the local news, so we don't know a whole lot of what I've been reading. It was some roads got closed. There was like over 300 road closures in Kentucky, so it sounded like Kentucky got the brunt of it. We got some rain, but not as much as I thought they were calling for. And by the time the band actually hit us at 1 or 2 in the morning, I think within the hour, we were behind it. So, and our temperatures dropped. We were up to 65 yesterday, and today's high is like 35. So we lost 30 degrees somewhere overnight. And over the next couple of days, we're supposed to get some snow again. So it's no wonder people get sick when you're almost 70 one day, and then 3 days later you're snowing again. It's a little crazy. Mother Nature is
This is the wrong end of snowbird that I wanted to be.
yeah, this isn't the snowbird feel that we wanted. So we are definitely planning on next winter not being here. We'll just shut up the cabin, shut off the water, turn everything off, and go south um, for a couple months because it's not a long season. And there's parts of the winter that are fine or beautiful. And the cold isn't very long. It isn't that cold. But when you go back and forth, like in Alaska, we never really got sick because it gets cold, it stays cold. About October, you start to rotate. It's like a you rotate into the cold, but you stay cold the entire all the way to March. You're going to be below freezing, and then you might have some weird patterns where you get above freezing in January, which it has this year. That's weird. That's an anomaly. That's not normal. Normal, it'll go cold, and then in the spring it goes hot, and it doesn't go backwards. That's what I liked about Alaska's weather. It was very predictable. You have to have clothes for both seasons, for summer and winter, but it was only about a 10 to 15, maybe 20-degree band change in temperature. So when you're into summer, you're talking between 50 and 70. And then when you go back to winter, then you're talking a band between minus 10 to plus 10. And you can go outside that range a little bit, but you're not going to go from 70 to 20 to 60 to 15. It doesn't do that. It's a consistent band because you don't have sun. So with no sun, it stays cold, and with sun, it gets heat. So um, the temperatures in Alaska are very conditional to whether there is sun or not in general. But here, you get in all four seasons here, and it seems like flu season is the biggest one we're getting.
At least in Florida, their bipolar was just if it's raining or not raining, and you always had to be ready for rain.
Yeah, it rains a lot there, like ridiculous amounts of
But the
rain.
cold is obviously not an issue.
So I will. She's not. She doesn't have her glasses on, and she doesn't really feel up to reading some of your questions in the chat. So I'll be reading them. I'm watching on my phone here, so if you have questions, you can send them in the chat. We don't have a whole lot to chat about this week, just because we've either been under the weather, we've been to a couple of appointments. I think we did 2 or 3 gym days. I think one day it was closed, and we did home gym upstairs. My shoulder is feeling a little better. It's not 100%. I don't know. I don't know that it will ever be 100%. But I have an appointment tomorrow to go back to McMinnville to see the orthopedic specialist, and we're going to decide on whether I want to go with surgery or not. I'm leaning towards not, but I want to hear what he has to say about can I expect my shoulder to worsen in 10 years, or does it have a chance to be better in 10 years? I stay active. I'm always using it. I don't mind working out. I don't mind doing extra stretches. I just would rather not do surgery. I don't mind doing the work to make it feel better. If I can avoid the surgery, I will. So that's where my mind is. I'll see what he has to say, and then we'll come up with, and I can always change my mind and say, hey, it's worse, 5 years from now or whatever. Can we go ahead and get that surgery? And I'm sure we could, but I want to see what the specialist has to say. His opinion is more than my opinion, but I have to take his opinion and factor it in with my pain level and the analysis of the chance that it can get better. And then we'll make a decision on that. So I see Anchorage, Alaska's in the house, 28 degrees. That's not bad. Those are snow temperatures. It can actually get too cold to snow. When it's 40 below zero, it's not going to snow up there because there's no cloud cover. That means all the cold air is coming right down on the ground, and it's 30, 40 below zero. You're not going to get snow. When it warms up is when the clouds form and keep the surface of the earth warmer so it can snow, plus the clouds. So it warms up into a snow range. Snow range is usually between 20 and 35. Now at 35, it can snow but not stick. But that's kind of the snow range. It can be too cold to snow. That's a real thing. Now, I don't know if it can be too cold here to snow. I haven't seen that. I don't know. But it'll be interesting to see that. So I still got some sniffles. I'm chewing on a cough drop, so I'm not hacking on the video too much. And I know you're looking pretty bad there.
Yeah, I'd rather be sleeping.
So we'll keep this live short because she's not feeling very well. And we just wanted to, touch on a few things. So we looked on the Trespass 5 docket, and some of you may have noticed that there was some returned mail. The returned mail was all people that are, except for Travis, that live in Otter Creek. So Deanna and Rex's mail got returned, and the reason it got returned is because they sent it to an address. Everyone, not everyone, obviously. I guess the courts don't investigate. They don't look into it. But Otter Creek is not on a post route. They don't deliver mail to addresses. So when the post office gets that mail, they can't deliver it. They could with the right.
They could. They've got nothing else to do in that little post office, so give me a break. But anyway,
would have taken that and said, oh, they have a postal box. Let me just throw it in there. Even though it may say
you don't even have to look them up in that little town. But even if you did, what else are you doing in your 4-hour shift?
Yeah. I mean, it's ludicrous. So
that
all
is the
of
most boringest post office to work at. Like, come on.
So all the mail got sent back. So it does go into Otter Creek Post Office. The clerk would look at it and go, okay, it's not addressed properly. I'm kicking it back. And this is what the postmaster who's in Bronson over that post office will do. If it's not addressed exactly right, she doesn't apply any common sense to it. She just kicks it back because it's up to the sender to put the right address on it. And I'm not saying she's not wrong.
Well, she's not the one in there working.
She's not the one in there working. No one would know any difference.
I'm sure she tells her people that, but I wouldn't listen to that because when I worked at the post office, we were taught that every piece of mail gets delivered. If you know where it goes, you put it there.
Right.
Period. I've looked up people's addresses on the property appraisers to try to go the extra mile and get it delivered.
Yeah, why kick it back? Because all you're doing is you're costing the post office more money.
Now, if you're in a busy office and you don't have time for that, I get it. But again, that's a little boring post office. So there's no excuse to not do a good job and go the extra mile. But
right.
At the end of the day, they got to live with the decisions they make.
That's right. So Therese will err on the side of doing the right thing for the people, and postmasters typically, and we know this one very well. She will do whatever's in her convenience that supports her, and she's right. It doesn't matter what it does for the people. She doesn't care about the people. I can say that firsthand. She can say that on multiple occasions firsthand. But anyway, we're not going to get on a rant about that postmaster. She just doesn't serve the post office well. Anyone else would do a better job, and I'm saying that, and I don't care if she doesn't like it. So, what else we got? So their mail, in explaining all that, the mail, there's no delivery route in Otter Creek, so you have to have a post office box. If it's addressed to the post office box, they're supposed to put it in your post office box. Although we have had mail addressed to post office box that postmaster killed the mail just to be retributal, just to try to get back at us. We know that for a fact. But we're not, again, going to get into that. That's water over the bridge. We're glad we're not there playing those games anymore with the mailboxes.
Is it over the bridge or under it?
It might be under it, or it might be over the roof or through the roof. I don't know.
Just let it go.
Just let it go.
People are going to be nasty. That's what they got to live with, their sour grapes.
Yeah.
Everybody has to answer for their actions at the end of their life, and they go to God with that. So that's what makes them feel good at the end of the day. That's on them.
That's on them. Extra vitamin C for you, Madam Mayor, they say, and D3. Oops. Vitamin C we have, but we're running low on it because I
haven't been taking it because I've been letting you take it because you've been sick.
Oh.
And we don't have much, and you've been putting off going to Walmart.
I've not been putting it off. We're going tomorrow.
Because you can't put it off anymore. Durr.
Yeah, the postmaster does not live in Otter Creek. She used to live.
Let's not even go
Let's
into
not.
this.
Yeah, we won't get into that too much. She doesn't live in Otter Creek now. She's over 3 post offices. She's the postmaster over Bronson, which is the home office, and then she has 2 RMPOs, which are rural post offices.
You're so sweet.
The one in Otter Creek and the one in Gulf Hammock, which they really shouldn't have post offices. They don't generate enough income, and they actually lose business. But that's a post office decision. That's management for you. But she lives out,
especially the one in Otter Creek, because they rent that building.
Yeah, the one in Otter Creek.
The lady who owns Herschel's actually owns that building. The post office doesn't even own it.
Yeah, and I bet they're paying way too much rent for that broken building.
I'm sure they are. They usually do.
And how many times has it been hit by a car?
Few.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Jason, for that. We appreciate that. We'll get some vitamin C with that money.
Definitely. Because I'm tired of feeling like this.
Yeah, it's kind of, you don't feel like doing anything. It's like, ooh.
I haven't been sick this much in this amount as the past 10 years.
Yeah, I don't normally get sick either. So it's really weird. And we don't even really go out that much. We don't go around people that much. I guess you can get sick at the gym.
Well, you can get sick anywhere, really.
Yeah, we visit the gym pretty frequently. And, if people aren't wiping down the equipment, I guess you can get sick from that. But it can be anything, really. So we don't really know. We've been home for 3 days. We didn't get to church this morning because we didn't feel up to going. And yes,
I'm definitely not going there and spreading germs.
Right.
That would be terrible.
Right. And then yesterday we were going to go visit an estate sale, but because of the way we were feeling, we canceled that too. We did get to go to another estate sale earlier in the week, and so there'll be a video on that. And what did we do? We visited the store with the bins, the different days and the different prices.
Store.
Yeah. The super savings store, whatever it's called.
Super buys.
We visited that this week.
I still want to go there on the $9 days just to see the difference.
Yeah, I think that's a Friday and Saturday. So we'd have to scoot over there next week and see what they have on the. We've heard there's 2 hour lines just to get in on the $9 days. They must have some good stuff.
Well, they do that in the Lucky Duck too in West Virginia, but that store is bigger and it's a chain and they have a lot more better stuff.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
But
so with those letters, let me finish the subject. So if the letters are not, if they're, the courts made the letters out to their physical address, which that doesn't always work. If there's no mail delivery in that town, which the entire town of Otter Creek
but
is
who's the
not
one
on a
who
mail
provides
system.
the addresses? The attorneys or the courts?
Either one of them. Shouldn't they know that Otter Creek is not on a mail delivery route and you're not going to get mail to your
I
address?
think they're just checking a block.
Yep. I think they don't really care if you got the notice or not. They're just checking a block. That's what I think. They're just trying to hurry up, rush it through, and check the block. That's all they're doing. They don't really care if you get notified. They don't even care if you get the letter. So when you address a letter to our old address, let's say Rex's address, 440 Southwest 3rd Street in Otter Creek, that's the house. Guess what? No route. So it goes to the post office. What does the post office clerk do to it? Well, they could have put it in that box number that they know that we had a box there. And it's the same box number for Rex. We could have put it in there, but no, they're just going to kill it and send it back. So now the post office spends more money sending that letter back than had they just delivered it. So they like to waste money.
Well, the post office better hope that Doge don't come in there.
Oh my goodness. Can you imagine? Doge would just, I think they should just, I know a lot of people would be like, no, you don't do that. Yeah, I think the entire post office system should be closed. It should be privatized and let a company do it efficiently, because the post office is the most inefficient organization I have ever worked with. There's so many examples of fraud, waste, and abuse. Mostly it's waste. I'm not saying fraud. I'm saying waste. Let's say you have 10 packages left, but the supervisor's trying to get home and they can't leave until all the routes are back. Let's say there's 5 people on the routes. They're out delivering and you're the last one back and you have 10 left. When you just send everybody else home, clean up, and wait for you to finish those 10, that would be efficient, right? You get everybody else off the clock.
Yeah.
But what do? She calls it sending out the football team. They do this in Ocala bad. They'll send 3 people to go take 2 or 3 packages off of her. And so they have to meet up with her on her route. They'll take 2 or 3 packages. The other one will take 2 or 3 packages. And then they'll all deliver 2 or 3 packages. And then they'll all come back. Now, how much time did you really save by the time you do all that?
Not much.
Not much.
Usually the person that they came to take packages off is the first one back.
Yeah.
Because they didn't really need that help. They just needed the supervisor to leave them alone and let them do their job.
That's right. And so what did they do? They kept 4 more people on the clock, being inefficient, being wasteful, to drive all the way out there empty to meet up with the person on their route, which can be miles away from the post office if they're near the end of their route. And then you're probably already 3 deliveries into it by the time they meet you. So by the time they get a package or take 2 packages off of you, meeting with you and transferring them, I mean, all of that takes a little bit of time. In that time, you could have probably finished delivering all of those, and those people could have been at home off the clock 30 minutes ago.
No innovative way to do things differently.
They
are the definition of insanity. They do the same thing every day and expect it to be different.
And expect a different result. It's called insanity.
There's no innovation. There's no thinking out of the box. And the upper management does not allow the people to think out of the box and do anything differently. It's just a big joke.
They're just there to babysit, really. The supervisors, the delivery people and the clerks and the people that throw the mail and the carriers, they all know what they're doing. The supervisor doesn't even have to come into work. There's no real purpose for them to come to work except to answer emails. They can do that from home. They're not needed in the post office. to sit there and direct traffic. They don't need people to tell them what to do. They know what they're doing. They've been doing it. It's a routine. It's redundant. It's repeat over and over and over. They know what they're doing. So they're mostly mismanaged by where there's no management needed. That's the gross inefficiency and waste of the post office. But hey, maybe Doge will visit the post office, but he's got some other priorities before he gets to that one.
I can't wait till they visit the IRS. That should be
the
interesting.
IRS and the Board of Education. Oh my goodness. How many people have been riding that gravy train at the Board of Education? Whew. That's going to be one. That's the one I'm interested in seeing how much waste there is.
It sucks. All the money they wasted, they could have been taking care of everybody.
All the money they've wasted
here.
They could have cut the taxes across the board on every American 50%. They could have cut all of our taxes 50%, and they would have saved money. Of all the trillions of dollars they've wasted in third world countries. Oh my goodness. I guess we don't need to get off into politics, but
you're in there enough.
Yeah.
I think he lives, breathes, and eats politics.
She doesn't like to watch any of it. And so when she leaves the room, I'll change the channel so I can pick up a little bit of what's going on.
I am constantly wearing headphones because I think this is a thing a lot of men do, is they'll have the TV on and then they're got all the YouTube on their phone. So they got the TV blaring, they got the YouTube blaring on the phone. You can't hear either one of them any good. And it's just annoying as all get out. So I get up and leave. Like, I think it's rude. Wear headphones if you want to listen to the crap on your phone and think of the other people, but that ain't happening. So I just go to another room because I get tired of wearing my headphones all the time.
Yeah, I do too.
Well, you shouldn't. You don't wear them. You opened up that can of worms.
So it's interesting to see where the direction of the country is going and how it's choosing to get there. There's a lot going on. Agree or disagree. Let's see what comes of it. It'll be very interesting to see how it all melts down. But I think change is needed, and I think the changes are going to be good. So I guess we'll see. Hey, Will Burns, welcome to the chat. Yeah, I get on my rant sometimes with the politics, and I know this ain't really a good place to do that because you're going to alienate those people that disagree with you. But hey, agree. Why can't people just agree to disagree? We don't agree on everything.
Sure don't, as most people could probably tell. I mean, you think about any people in their relationships or their family members or your friends. Do you all agree on everything? Absolutely not. It'd probably be pretty boring if you did.
How about this White House press secretary? She is sharp as a tack. I thought it was hilarious, that clip. I saw it before they started re-showing it on other channels. But she goes, I got the receipts. I got the screenshots. I'm like, where have I heard that before? I'm like, she brought receipts.
Yeah, what's happening there in the nation is just a huger example of the same stuff going on in Otter Creek or any of your small governments, to be honest.
Yeah, uncover it all. Transparency.
You know, the people who don't like the transparency are the ones doing wrong stuff.
Hello, Chieflin. Chieflin's in the chat. I haven't been reading all the chat. I've been trying to just talk to you guys. The Department of Education. Oh, yeah, that's going to be a mess. There's going to be a lot of people that disagree with that. But, hey, all they're doing is looking and uncovering.
I think if I had a kid in school, I would homeschool. I think what's been going on the past couple of years with the stuff that they are teaching or not teaching in the schools. I mean, they teach the kids how to be really good test takers and how to memorize stuff, but they don't really teach them real life skills.
Right. Life skills is missing.
You want to know how many times I've used algebra in my life? Trigonometry? Guess what? Didn't.
0.
So there's so much crap that they teach you that you don't even use. If you're specializing in those areas, then yes, you need to know that. But the bulk of people don't, and it's a waste.
Have you heard him talk about? I forget what the guy's name is. Kirk. Somebody will say it in the chat. But sometimes I'll listen to him when I'm in the gym or something. I'll listen to him, and he visits these universities, and he has. There are usually liberals that come up and get on the microphone, but not always. And they try to challenge him on various topics, but lately it's been about where college is a scam. So the vast majority now, different ways of approaching this subject. Like I believe also with him that certain degrees are necessary, like to be a doctor or a physicist or an engineer or a dentist or a lawyer. Then you're going to need a specialized set of skills that you can get in college. But the vast majority of what college is teaching are skills that you don't need to use to get the job that you may be going into. Did I explain that very well? Not really.
I wasn't listening to you.
If you want,
I know how to tune you out.
if you want to be a car mechanic, let's say you want to open your own shop, do you need a degree for that? No, you just need to be able to fix cars. Now, can you go and get your certifications in certain things? Sure. Does that require college? No. So a lot of the blue collar jobs is really where the money is, because if you do that for a while, then you can own it. Then you can have different businesses, and that's where you can really do well for yourself. But don't be afraid to get your hands dirty. Don't be afraid to dive in there and do something that you love doing.
I mean, they don't even teach cursive anymore. And what about budgeting? And I can't believe when the 1 year in Ocala, when I was in line at the
Charlie
bank,
Kirk, that's it. Yeah.
and there was teenagers in there who didn't know how to fill out any of their bank stuff. They didn't know how to write a check. They didn't know how to sign their name. So they were standing in line in front of me, and I had to show them that it's sad. I know we used to have home ec. I bet they don't even have that anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you used to be able to pick in junior high school. I remember you had to pick 4 different, what did they call it? Well, you had your mandatory classes. Your electives. So you had 4 electives, and you would take 1 each quarter. Or some schools would do semesters, so then you would pick 2. And you would do you could do shop, or you could do woodworking, and those would be 2 classes. Now, one would be in the first semester, and then one would be in the second semester. Or if you went to a 4-quarter school, which I've been to both, so some of them are just quarters. They're not whole semesters or quarters. So you'll have I don't know. I remember taking a cooking class and baking cookies.
Yeah, that was in home ec.
Yeah, I think it was home ec. Yeah, and they sewed.
Do all that
so
stuff.
You do that for a quarter, and then that class ends, and then you do another one for a quarter. You might go to shop. You might go to welding. But these are cool because you get just enough. You don't get to be an expert at it, but you do it just enough to see if you like it, to see if that's something you might want to try to do at the next level, outside of school, a tech trade or something like that. But you do just enough, you're introduced to it and go, I kind of like welding. I like gas welding. I don't like arc welding, but gas welding was fun. And you might decide you want to do that. And sure, there's money you can make doing that.
I mean, when I went to school, I liked going to school. I was a nerd, so I liked reading. I liked taking tests. I liked doing all that stuff. So I thought it was fun. And things are a lot different now than then.
I think Tennessee just passed where parents' choice for school. So I believe that's correct. Maybe Wilburns can check in on that. I don't know. I think it was Tennessee. I think Texas is also looking at it. So sometimes I'll get the states mixed up. But yeah, I think anytime you have choice, that sounds like a good thing, because that means you can choose to put your kids in the school that they're currently going to, so you don't have to make a change. And then maybe you want to homeschool, maybe you want to go private school, maybe you want to go into a secondary school. I mean, you got lots of options. So it's good to have options, and it needs to be transparent. All the books need to be transparent. When you're shopping for a school, what should you look at? How about the dropout rate, graduation rate, testing scores, teachers' academics? I mean, you look at these things to place your student. I mean, I think that would make sense. What do you do when you need some work done in your car? You're going to check different mechanics and look at their ratings and look at the reviews, right? At least a little bit to get some idea. So, I mean, that's just normal.
First, I'm going to look and see if I can fix it myself and
Well,
save
yeah,
some money.
that's always the case.
That's what I'm going to do first.
Yeah, we had a recent repair on the Jeep that was something I wasn't going to touch. It was like on the books, it was 5 hours just to get into
And
it.
of course, the older I've gotten, the less I want to do of that. But I used to always work on my own vehicle.
Yeah, I thought I had
as much as I could anyway.
We thought we had a headlight that went out the other day, but the next morning I went out there to look at it because I was going to get some numbers off of it so I could order another one, and it was working. So it could have just been, a plug that just they come disconnected, or it just takes a little bit to pull apart.
The bad thing is the new vehicles are all computerized,
yeah,
so you almost have
not
to
much
take
you
it
can
somewhere.
do. Yeah, there's not much you can do with them.
Not like those old cars in the 60s where you could just take a seat inside the engine well and tackle it.
Yeah, a guy here says he had woodworking, welding, home ec in his high school. We did too. In the junior high too. In the junior high, we also did too.
Yeah, we had it in middle school because I remember taking shop and home ec and all that in middle school and high school.
Yeah.
But it's a different world now, I guess you could easily say.
Yeah. So I was going to get into something and I kind of lost my train of thought on what it was.
Squirrel chaser.
Yeah,
look out for the squirrel chaser.
But I don't know. I can't say enough about I find myself Googling White House press secretary, and I'm trying to find a live stream, and it's not live. It's a replicated live, and it says live, but it's not. So you got other countries doing this too, and it's really hard to find the real one, the real White House press briefing. And I don't know if they have their own YouTube page. I don't think they do yet, but everybody else is rebroadcasting it, and so it's hard to find one that is going to have all the original content. I like to catch it when she's on live. Usually on the TV you can catch that. But I always like when she comes out. She comes out full of vigor and she's ready to go and she's got her notes and she goes, I knew you were going to ask that. I'm like, oh man, next. I like the intelligence. I like the just, I'm ready. Here I am. Throw it at me. Deflect. I love it. She's prepared. She's not, pulling answers out of her hindsight. She's just, I love the whole thing where she's just on top of it. It's perfect. And I think that White House press secretary, speaking for the president, that's what they are. They are the voice for the president. And I think she's doing a great job. It's like, wow, it's like a breath of fresh air. But so far the Doge is just identifying things. They haven't decided to do anything except stop some wasteful spending, some payments that were either already in the pipeline or getting ready to go in the pipeline to be paid. So they really haven't done any big government overhaul reach per se. Now they're talking about doing a lot. And he's doing a lot of executive orders, but executive orders can be turned over by the next president. So I do have some concern about who the next president might be and what they will undo that Trump's trying to do. So I'm always looking down the road. It's like, oh yeah, this is great for the next 4 years. Then what happens? So we're hoping there will be some legislation that follows up the executive orders so that the rule of law can stay. That's what I hope. Yeah, Madam Mayor, if you're just joining us, doesn't feel so well. She's under the weather. I don't know if she has a fever.
I don't know. I didn't check.
I don't think you have a fever. But she's not feeling well. She's wrapped up in her blanket, and she wasn't even going to do the live. I'm kind of surprised she decided to just do it anyway.
I didn't think I had an option.
Yeah, you have an option. It's Madam Mayor's adventures, not my adventures. We're a team, and I'll do most of the talking if you want me to, but
yeah, you will.
See, we don't always agree. You don't have to agree to coexist. But hopefully she feels better soon. And I was that sick yesterday, and I feel a lot better today. So hopefully tomorrow she's feeling a lot better. Call it a day, turn the heat on, and go to bed. Yeah, that's what she was doing already. And any of you guys have any questions or anything you want to get into? I'm looking at the chat. Yeah, she does look like she should be in bed. And we were going to keep this pretty short today. And we'll get her some food. I've tried to make a few things offer for her, but it was like me yesterday. I don't think I ate anything yesterday. And today I've been eating fine. So I woke up a whole different person. I hope
that's because you gave it to me.
I hope that switch
Isn't
flips
that
for
how you
you.
get better? You give your stuff to somebody else.
Here's my germs. I'm
I
done
don't
with
have
them.
anybody to give it to.
This weather is crazy.
Nor would I
though.
really want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't want anybody sick.
So we'll go ahead and move this chat along and get off here so she can relax and be more at home. So we don't have any mail, but we'll go ahead and run the mail truck by. Beep, beep. Right by Otter Creek. No mail.
You got to bring it to the P.O. box. Don't try to drop that off in front of their house.
And as far as Travis's mail, we didn't touch on his. His just said no such number. So they just had wrong information on his address. So it got sent back too. And as far as the, I guess they didn't send us any mail. We do have mail to the house, and we have a P.O. box.
Yeah, they didn't send us
anything. They didn't send us anything. So I guess they figured our attorney would let us know, but we read it on the docket like everybody else. And then, Spawn Trooper, how you doing, Spawn Trooper? I just saw your little flask up there. So I'm going to go ahead and move into our little soapbox segment.
And I thought you'd been on one the whole time.
No, you can't tell the difference?
No, I really can't. This is how I'm able to tune you out so well.
Oh.
That's what my sister told me last time I visited her. She said, wow, you've really gotten to this ignoring thing pretty well since you got married. I said, yeah, I never could do it before, but now I've perfected it.
Soapbox segment. Here we go. I've had so many. I just wrote down one. We'll save the others for another time. Blocking pumps at the gas pump. People that they pull up to the pump, they pump their gas, and they go in the store. Do I need to say any more? That's okay at a big gas station, like a Buc-ee's, where you have like 80 pumps and you're blocking a pump. I guess, that's not okay either. But this is like putting the carts back. Be respectful. You borrowed the cart, put it back. You got your gas, now go park in a parking space and then go inside and shop. It's disrespectful to the people behind you trying to get to a pump, or if they get to the pump behind you, but now they can't get out because you're still in there shopping and you're blocking a pump. I really hate it when you are trying to buy diesel. Let's say there's 8 pumps. Most gas stations have about 8 pumps. And your diesel pumps are only on the end where there's only maybe 2. And then all the other they're all being blocked and you can't get to them.
Jessica. That's a good idea.
Both of you go to bed. I feel like doing something.
Well, bye, Felicia.
Thanks, Jessica. Appreciate that. We'll get her to bed here real quick. So I think blocking the pumps when you're getting gas, even if you have to go in and pay, I guess, but do people do that anymore? Isn't everything pay at the pump nowadays?
Usually.
But if you're getting gas, don't block the diesel pumps. If you can go to a pump that doesn't have diesel or go beyond the pumps that are the diesel pumps, you don't have to get your regular gas at a diesel pump if there's only 2 diesel pumps. Think about other people. A diesel truck can only go to those 2 pumps. Think about them. You can tell which ones they are. If it's a big truck and it's rattling, it's probably diesel. If he's pulling a camper, or if it is a camper, it's probably diesel. You can tell a diesel vehicle, so don't block them.
The thing I tell Brett, though, is do not approach people and tell them that, because he thinks all the time that some light bulb is going to go off in their head.
She's telling me that all the
time about everything. He's always amazed at all these haters and this and that the light bulb hasn't gone off and they haven't realized this. I said, ain't no light bulb going off for them. You can't fix crazy. You can't.
Yeah.
And you can't approach those people, because then you're going to be on the end of whatever crazy they decide to put upon you.
Yeah,
so
we know what things are being said.
You can't go say that stuff to people, like telling them about their shopping cart or telling them about the pump, because
you don't know how they're going to react.
People these days have
they might shoot you.
A lot of
it's just a shopping cart
issues and things going on, or they're having a bad day, and you go say, ain't no light bulb coming on, honey.
Sometimes what I'll do, one lady was doing her groceries, and I could just tell by the vehicle she was in that she wasn't about walking her cart back to the carousel, even though she was parked like 3 lots down from it. So she loads the back. It's an SUV of some sort. She pushes it around to the front, which I don't know why. She opens her door. She gets in. She closes the door. She lowers her window, and I say, oh, don't worry. I'll get that for you. And I took the cart, and she gave me a mean look. And I put the cart back. But, I was going that way anyway, putting our cart back. I grabbed hers. Usually when we park and go into a store, we'll grab stray carts from the parking lot and walk them up to the door anyway. We normally always carry.
And that's fine if you want to go ahead and do that.
Carts.
But don't be approaching people, telling them about what they should be doing or this and that, because one day you're going to end up talking to the wrong person, and it's not going to end well.
Probably not.
Ain't no light bulb going off. It's just not. I mean, it'd be great if everything was easy to fix like that, and you could just say, hey, da-da-da. No.
Hey, but we've decided we're not going to entertain all these hate channels. We don't watch them. We do get sent stuff.
All you're doing is giving them content. That's what they want. They want to go back and
forth. They want to go back and forth.
They're just rehashing old crap over and over.
And what we're going to say is, if you don't have a video of it, or you don't have scientific evidence of it, it didn't happen. Because we know in Levy County, if you don't have video of it, it didn't happen. So if you can't prove it, it didn't happen. So if it hasn't been proven to this point, then it didn't happen. And that's all I got to say about that.
I mean, I just don't understand how people can be listening to the same stuff over and over for years.
And not just them, but
rehashing it all.
All the different channels covering the same thing over and over and over and over. I don't know. I like to stay with the original content. Don't forget the base of your channel, what your channel's about. That should be 90% of your subject matter. And now you can deviate here and there, and you can pull stuff in and talk about hot button topics. But I wouldn't make this.
Well, you got people flat out making up a bunch of crap just for content.
Just for content, but it's not have nothing to do with their channel. Like, what's your channel based on?
That is what their channel is based on.
Well, then it ought to be the hate channel of the East or something. Just call it that. Then everything they're doing makes sense. Rename your channel, rebrand it. Hate channels.
Are just a bunch of obsessed people with a lack of their own content.
But that stuff doesn't make life better. Listening to it, I mean, it's almost irrelevant whether anything is.
I feel sad for any of the people listening to it.
Yeah, it's all just gossip until it gets in front of a judge. And then all the facts are going to come out, like all the things about these signs, we made them up, blah, blah, blah. No, there's dated pictures. There's proof. There's our testimony. There's our affidavit.
And here you go talking about it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just, it's an example.
I don't even bother.
So
I don't let any of it bother me because it's all a load of crap.
Wait till the courts get it. Then you'll see all the proof.
It's
So
all a bunch of noise.
it's just noise, and it just clutters your life, and it really just brings down your quality of life. So we choose not to engage in that, although we're kind of engaging in that. We're gonna end it with that.
Amen.
So I mean, the viewers of Madam Mayors, you guys that follow us, we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. We try to keep things positive, and hopefully very soon, within the next few weeks, we'll be back on the road. We can get out of here. We have 3 appointments this week. One of them's a surgery. And then I have the orthopedics, and then I have what older men have to get when they're over 50. I have one of those. And then those 3, and then maybe a follow-up the following week, and hopefully we can get out of here before the end of
That would be great.
before the end of March or
That'd
in
be
March.
so great.
Yeah, so we're hoping to get on the road and be on the road for a while. We love the cabin, but it was never our intention to stay in a one-room cabin for months on end. that wasn't the plan. But it takes a while when you're moving into a new place to get your doctors and all your physicians set up. And we hadn't been in a while, so we did what the eye doctor Friday.
Yeah, luckily we weren't sick then, because thank you to Jason, who had sent us a nice gift
Texas
card to
Roadhouse.
Texas Roadhouse, and they were actually
open
for Valentine's Day for
Yes.
lunch. We got to enjoy a nice lunch at Texas Roadhouse, and it was so good.
And we had half of that left over, and I ate the other half today.
Yeah, and he said, "Do you want some of this?" And I'm like, "Nope,
Nope. Okay. I had 2 shrimps left and half a steak and a whole baked potato left.
It was good. I ate my stuff yesterday,
Yeah.
and then Friday, of course, and it was good then.
Yeah.
So thank you again, Jason.
Yeah,
You're
we
always
appreciate
looking
it.
out for us.
We try to stretch those meals out. I think we still have a little bit left. I didn't eat all that potato still. It was a big potato. And then I still have a biscuit left. Those butter rolls with that butter bread, or what kind of spread is that? Cinnamon apple, cinnamon butter? Cinnamon butter. That's good stuff.
And it's like a Hawaiian roll, kind of.
Yeah.
Because the rolls are sweet.
So it's really good. We're still nipping away at that and get that out of our refrigerator. But
I was hoping to go to the gym yesterday, work it off, but Brett was not feeling it. So
I couldn't do it.
Now today I'm where he was yesterday.
Yeah. But hopefully she'll feel as good as I do. I'm just a little stopped up. I don't mind that,
because I don't want to have to postpone any surgery. So
yeah,
hopefully I'll be all better by Friday.
Yeah. So hers is Friday and mine is Monday and Wednesday. But Tuesday's not going to be fun for Wednesdays. But yeah, that's about it. So we're wrapping up our stuff and hoping to feel better so we can get on the road. And hey, we love you guys. We're going to go ahead and cut this off a little short.
Thank you to everybody. Reasons. Sorry I'm sick and I didn't really have much to say. But I wanted to be here to try to support. But I think it was almost better if I wouldn't have been here. But I do appreciate everybody coming on and spending time with us. And I thank all our moderators.
Yep, thank you.
And thank you to our members. And I hope nobody else gets sick. And I'll be praying for everybody else.
At least they can't get sick through the screen, right?
Good health. And I appreciate all your well wishes and prayers too. It means a lot. It really does.
Thank you guys. We love you guys and hope you have a great Sunday afternoon and enjoy the rest of the lives tonight.
Stay positive and don't listen to all the crap.
Yeah, it's crap. That's all it is. And
I'll just put it bluntly.
They're replaying stuff from 3 years ago over and it's I was like, man, can't they be creative at all? Can they not be creative? Can they not come up with some creative thought?
Nope. Sure can't.
Oh.
Obsessed.
So you guys have been watching us for a while. We're not new to this. What you see is what you get. Some of you have even met us.
Yeah, obviously I don't put on a show.
Yeah.
There was no hair and makeup and all that other crap. What you see is what you get. I'm as real can be.
This is no makeup. She doesn't wear makeup anyway. So we're just real people hanging out in a cabin in Tennessee. enjoying life. We enjoy it more when we're not sick.
But everyone take care of each other, stay healthy, and maybe if y'all are having some fun adventures, make sure you tell us about them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And don't forget, this week we got the Otter Creek meeting coming up on
yes.
Tuesday at 7 p.m. And yes, we will keep covering it as long as people keep watching it. And from the views, it looks like everybody's still pretty interested in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just keep covering it as long as that's what everybody still wants. And from what I can tell, it is.
Now that's what I'm talking about. 90% of our channel is about adventures. And from the videos you see during the week, those are all things that we participate in. A lot of them have been do-it-yourself projects because we are at home. But as we get on the road, then most of them will transition, obviously, to more outside adventures.
Thank you, Jessica. I love you.
But there'll be sometimes you pull in other stuff. Like we'll do the Otter Creek coverage of the meeting, the pre-meeting and the post-meeting thoughts and reviews, and that's 10%, not even 10%. So,
yeah, Jason says Otter Creek Town Hall is an adventure. You're right about that. And it looks like the adventure is going to get a little
more
bumpier
adventures.
there. So
you might have some more people covering that.
As
too.
Everybody says, buckle up for that. So yeah, you probably will end up. And I predict that there's going to be a few extra people at this meeting. That's my prediction. Take it for whatever.
Yeah. I think Russell's getting ramped up and sees an opening. He sees an opening and he's going to try to slide in there. But
like I said, it's their town and they have the power to elect who they want to elect. So,
and I'm glad we don't live there anymore, but we can still watch it from afar like you guys. And you still have a lot of good insight as to how the voting works and how the town hall works and how, legally what works and what doesn't. So getting your point of view is always good. And so I think we are still credited with covering some of that from ex-mayor's perspective. And that's why we continue to cover it. Anyway, we've elongated enough, and we have a good Sunday, and glad you guys joined us. We love you guys, and you guys have a good evening.
Bye.
Bye. Hope you feel better, Madam Mayor.
Thanks. My name's Therese.
Whoa, I'm falling out of my chair.
I didn't do that.